Good afternoon. I'll call this General Services Public Works Committee meeting to order. Today is March 8th, 2021, and it is noon. We have 3 items on our agenda today, and the first one is approval of a contract with Humanity Memorial Incorporated in the amount of $75,000 for public art at the Four Corners Gateway. And with us today, we have City Administrator Troy Tymeson.
Good afternoon. It's very exciting. I'm bringing in the lead go-to person, John Bruning, to do this presentation. He oversaw the subcommittee that's put the work into this, and he will share with you all the good things that they have done to bring this to you for a contract. Thanks, John.
Okay, thank you, Troy. As Troy said, I'm John Bruning, and I was the chair of the subcommittee for the Arts Commission. Did the call for artists. And we selected, we made a recommendation to the Arts Commission for this piece of art that you see here. And so and that our recommendation went on to the Arts Commission, and it was a unanimous vote from the commission to send this to City Council by way of this committee. So when we did the call, we received 20 proposals, and we narrowed that down to 5. And then we did 3 interviews. And I'd just like to say the interview we did with the Humanity Memorial Incorporated, we gave each candidate 20 minutes to answer some questions and then make their presentation. And I think all of us on the subcommittee were so impressed with their presentation, and we had to cut them off. We let them go about 30 minutes, and then we finally said, no, hey, no more. We have another person to talk to. But their presentation was unreal, and they did so much. They really did their homework. They knew about Coeur d'Alene and what we were looking for, and so it was very impressive. And I think some of us went into the meeting with another idea, but they convinced us that this was the one we should recommend. So I'll answer some questions if you have some, but I'll just go through some slides here that Troy has prepared. This is the art piece you see sitting over here. It's cut from 5/8 inch steel, so it's going to be very substantial. It stands 24 feet high. And I think you're all aware of the location this will be at the Four Corners on the northwest corner there by the Carousel parking lot. So we wanted something large, something easily visible from Northwest Boulevard and from the other streets that are there in that intersection. So I think this will satisfy that. And Bill Greenwood and I, about a year ago, I think, met down there and picked a location for it. So we do have power available, and it can be lighted. And one of the key things is the light in the bottom will shine up through it at night. So I think that'll be very nice. And it is, one other thing that impressed us was it is interactive. People can go inside it and look up and see look up through it and see the entire artwork through with the lighting that's going to be there. So this is just a drawing of how it will be and kind of the dimensions of it and so forth. One of the things we always look for is low maintenance and resistance to vandalism, and I think this met both of those criteria quite easily. This is some of their other work that they have done. The one on the left is at the site of the World Trade Center, and the memorial there, and that was one of their projects. So they are very impressive, and all the work that they've done is very good. I'm just really impressed with it. So anyway, that was the, go back one here. That was what convinced us that we should pick this. The design, their presentation, and the durability of the artwork. So, and they said they could meet the 6-month timeline that we have for construction. So as soon as we get the contract signed, then we'll start the clock. But we hope it'll be in place by the end of September, we hope. So, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Does anybody have any questions?
Madam Chair? John, it's just beautiful. I really want to thank, in particular, Dr. Priscilla Bell for proposing the artwork in the first place and where it will be prominent in the city. It's gorgeous. I think all of the pieces that were submitted were really pretty. Whether it was our choice or not, the message is what's the most important. And I guess I would also suggest that it isn't the only piece of art in the future that would honor this message. There's always opportunity for more art in the city of Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, yes.
And so maybe some of those other artists we could look at in the future for reconsideration for additional art. Anyway, I think it's beautiful. I do think that the entire council needs to get an opportunity to hear from you, make their own comments, but it's very pretty. I appreciate the message.
Yes, and, you know, they really captured the feelings of the humanities group, and they did their research on that, because they were able to quote to us some of the writings of that group. So they really did and I think they actually did some in-person conversations with the people on the board there. It sounded like they did. So they did their homework. They did a good job.
And John, is there, are there additional funds available for additional art with this sort of a message?
I think there could be, yeah.
Good. I hate to pick just one.
Well, we got to start somewhere. So.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful.
And this was such a key location right across the street from the
Sure.
humanities, so, and the entrance to the whole neighborhood, and of course,
Yep.
I was a little prejudiced because I, may live down there.
Absolutely. Can't blame you.
So, it's a good location.
I just comment that I was happy to be part of the process, and again, if we had not had the actual interactive interview with them, I mean, that really turned the corner when we realized, and especially it's geared at kids too, to be able to go in there. I mean, adults, kids, but I mean, they can go in there and literally walk around inside of the dome, and then there's inspirational words and messages all around, and a bench, they can sit, and with the cutouts in between things at different times of day as the sun rotates, it'll change, and so, I just can't think of a better statement than this for, like you say, coming into Coeur d'Alene, and that's about as good a corner as you'd ever find. So I mean, that says who we are. So anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I just think
So-
this is an amazing piece and is going to be a fabulous addition to Coeur d'Alene. And I just wanted to thank the selection committee as well, and John, for you leading that group. And this is, I believe, our second time doing the Skype interviews with the artist.
Yeah.
And it is an amazing process as you get to know intimately their thoughts behind their pieces of work.
Yeah. Well, so I'd be happy to make a motion to recommend the council approve a contract with Humanity Memorial, Inc. in the amount of $75,000 for public art at the Four Corners Gateway.
And I would second that with, I guess, the caveat that this entire thing would go to the council agenda.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our second item today is approval of a 3-year concession lease agreement with the Buoy LLC with the option to renew for an additional 3 years at McEwen Park Rotary Harbor House. And with us today, we have Bill Greenwood, our Park and Recreation Director.
How was everybody this afternoon?
Good.
Oh, you're one ahead there.
Pardon me?
Aren't we doing the buoy next?
Buoy's next and ice
The
skating.
buoy is first?
Yes.
Okay.
Or we can reverse them.
Sure.
So we're doing the buoy first, I'm sorry.
On our agenda, the buoy's item number 2, but if you're ready for ice skating, we can
I
do them in
can do
reverse.
buoy right now. I don't have any slides for the buoy,
Okay,
so
okay.
I just, sorry about that. So, this vendor has been at the Harbor House for 3 seasons. In fact, this year, their agreement with us is such that they could send us a letter and we would just extend it. But last year, I let them expand their footprint a little bit. And so in your packet, you'll see what was existing and what the expansion of their footprint was. And so I let them do that and then went back to them and said, now I've done this and you guys are doing very well. What do you say about another, a little bit of extra capital for us because we were helping you out? So they countered and said that they would be agreeable to that, to increase their agreement with us by $6,000. Went from 10 to 16. They're doing a great job over there. I think you've suggested that you drop by occasionally after a hike, and I hear this from a lot of people. I hear from a lot of folks about how nice it is to have that there, how well it's run. The guys that are running that are really easy to work with, and I like their energy. They're very upbeat, and they're really young, energetic entrepreneurs who really do a good job. And so I suggested rather than having them send a letter, I'd like to bring that back and vet the fact that they've upped their lease agreement with us and then have that everybody agree to that.
Yeah, and I would comment, we're regular customers in the summer and on our bike rides, and they do a great job. They're friendly. The food is good. Take care of things. So, yeah, I think that's a great asset to have.
Yeah, I was very, very pleased. We had a couple different vendors there that didn't market it as well, and they weren't as successful. And these guys were just really eager, and I think they're doing a great job.
And Madam Chair, I'll just say that Park and Rec Commission is just very pleased with this contract that we've had with these gentlemen. They have done a really nice job. It's just very pleasant. A lot of us do stop off there, and it's, on a warm summer night to hear that music come from there.
Yeah,
You can get a nice hot dog and a cold beer and have your dog with you, is what
And
I
they're going to bring
always
back
say.
their dog menu. I thought they were
I
talking
know,
about
they
having
did
that
suggest
consideration
that,
again.
because I always have the dog with me, so, no, we were very pleased with their work, but I do, again, with this agenda item, I would also ask that it goes to full council as well.
All right, I'm looking for a motion.
Well, I would make a motion to recommend that council approve the 3-year concession lease agreement with the Buoy LLC with the option to renew for an additional 3 years at McEwen Park Rotary Harbor House.
A second?
Any further discussion?
Just that, Bill, you did a great job increasing the amount of the contract in a mid-contract year, and I appreciate that they understand this is a give-and-take relationship, and that they've stepped up and contributed more, because I understand all those dollars go straight into the parks
Parks
fund,
Capital Improvement Fund, correct.
which we're going to need more for our bigger parks, and so, good job.
Well, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And right now we're on item number 3, approval of a 5-year renewable lease agreement with Coeur d'Alene on Ice to create and operate a seasonal ice skating rink in McEwen Park.
So this proposal was a casualty of COVID. We were going to bring this to you last year, and the Murrays, who are the couple that want to run this, or owners of this, asked that we just postpone it for a year until we get this pandemic behind us. So they came back to me this early, I guess it was November, and contacted me and said, we'd like to get this thing moving forward again. So we just dusted it off, and this is the size of their rink. It'll be right in front of the Vista Pavilion. And initially, you'll see this in some upcoming slides. They've done this in Modesto, California, and it had a canopy or like a circus tent over the top of it. They had some difficulty in getting one that could pass the wind rating for our state here. So they're going to do this without a canopy or tent over it this year. And we'll see how it goes. They can find something for next year. But they are going to utilize some of the pavilion, or all of the pavilion. They'll have skates for rental. They'll have some snacks. Nothing that's going to be prepared, just all box stuff. They have these warming igloos similar to what is at Crafted, and they'll have fire pits which have been approved by our fire department already. And that's how it lays out in relationship to the overall park. It's a good time of year for us to have something like that here. There's not a lot going on. We're going to, we do snow removal around here all the time, and so it'll be opened up. The Murrays are going to assist with any of the snow removal that might take place after hours. So we've got a couple of smaller units that we might be able to put in one of our maintenance rooms there, a smaller single-stage snow blower for them to help with that. They've also offered to help with cleaning the restrooms, so that our staff has gone by about 4. And so they would have to pick up that time, and we will have our team still lock it up after, we usually lock them down about 10. If they've got something going on that's special, we'll let them have keys and they can lock it up for us if they've got, an event that's maybe going to go past our normal lockup time. So they seem like they're really agreeable, they have been very agreeable this entire negotiation. And so this is some of the stuff that happened in Modesto. It's really one of the things that caught my attention. Jerome's wife, Andrea, is a special needs teacher. And one of the things that she's really tuned into is the fact that, they'll put this blue laser or in the ice on it. And so we're not going to have this canopy. But back to Andrea, she is special needs teacher. And so they have special needs days at Modesto. They're going to do the same thing here for us. And so I've asked them to reach out to DAC, Disability Action Center, and maybe get a partnership going on with them as well. And I was going to show you this guy. That's going to be me. See, these are training wheels. This is a little V-shaped plastic thing that's going to give you the ability to skate when you can't stand up like me on ice with skates. So, yeah, I'm real excited about this. I think it's a good thing this time of year. It is only the holiday season, so they're going to start setting up in the middle of October. It'll then it'll break down mid-January. So they're looking for, the holiday shoulder there to have this there for those duration time. They're going to have stuff like, you can get it for a birthday party. They're going to have open skate days. They're going to have, lots of things. You could do corporate stuff and just reserve it for your use exclusively, or there'll be days in a week that it's just, like I say, open skate. And that's kind of an idea of how it might look under the pavilion and with those fire pits.
Great. Any questions?
I would just state to the two of you that Bill made this presentation to Park and Rec, and the Park and Rec Commission was thrilled with it. It's just what this community needs. It's such a great family event. There's no alcohol at all. And what a great time of year to infuse a little more fun into the community. So we were 100% in favor of this proposal and certainly hope that council approves it. I would say again that I would like the whole thing to go to council, but I very much support it. So I'm happy to make that motion if I could
Absolutely.
get ready here. My
Well, I'll
computer.
second, and, once you're,
Well, that's okay. I should probably make a proper motion, but then my computer blacked out on me. So if you have it in front of you, Dan, if you could do that. Here,
Oh.
would you like to? Thank you. Madam Chair, I make a motion to recommend that council approve a 5-year renewable lease agreement with Coeur d'Alene on Ice to create and operate a seasonal ice skating rink in McEwen Park.
second. And then I would say too, this brings back warm memories of, as a kid in Coeur d'Alene, and at least for a period of time, down at Memorial Field, they would flood and make kind of a rink, but of course that's when, back in the day when, you're at the mercy of what the temperature is outside versus, I assume this won't matter what the temperature, and but that was a great thing. Also, I know in the, the different things that were envisioned for McEwen, at least from my perspective, as just Joe citizen then, but I mean, there was a lot of talk about, ice skating rink potential and all of that. So to see that come as, oh yeah, we're getting there, and to make that be a piece of it. So this is terrific. Now, with those fire pits, is that something that, will that stay there for the summer months, or is that just something that?
Everything will get pulled out in mid-January.
Okay.
And you bring up a really good point about McEwen. There was a water feature that was there at McEwen, and it didn't make the cut budget-wise.
Yeah.
And then later, we were able to do the thing for Greg at K-27.
Yeah.
Dedication area. But you're talking about, we had talked about at the boat launch, if that was going to go away, we're going to try and do something passive there with an ice rink. And here it is years later, we're still fulfilling some of the same vision that everybody had for the park back then.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
And again, this came to council too? Or what?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so.
We have the request for this to be on the council agenda as well.
I guess-
And that concludes our meeting today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Okay.